Well, I believe in good vibrations is what creates a beautiful nation. All you need is the will to do right, do right, do right.
Crap. Or a student loan.
And we're live! Welcome to a brand new episode of Anecdotal Arguments. I am your host, Jay Fry, and with me today is Josh. Josh, we're live. How's it going?
Going. It would have been a nice heads-up warning, because I could have turned off the camera.
Oh, you're not on screen.
Oh. Well, that's...
I still have the splash screen up.
Okay. Well, it's turned off as of now, so I think we're okay. I appreciate that.
Yeah.
Thank you so much.
I wouldn't do you dirty like that.
I mean, I'm pretty ugly. I don't want to, ruin anybody's day.
Agreed. And Sean, how's it going, Sean?
Yeah, it's Monday. I'm here. It's later than normal because you guys are stupid and do daylight savings time, so it gave me an extra hour today.
Speaking of which, I went out for a smoke at 5 a.m. the first Sunday, and my relief was pulling in as I finished. I'm like, hey, what time is it? He's like, clock says it's 6. And I'm like, why don't you check your cell phone? Shut up, bitch. I'm like, yeah. Bye. Like, I'm out of here. Like, I wasn't here last year at the same time when I was forced to, because at the in the office, you if you work Sundays and it happens to be at that particular time, which is supposed to be between 2 and 3, even though it happens here at between 1 and 2, which is stupid. You don't get paid, or you get paid for the missed hour, but you don't get paid for the extra hour. They somehow deem that it's cheaper that way than docking an hour and giving an extra hour, because it's an hour and a half. Because if somebody works 40 hours and they get that extra hour, it turns them to 41, so it's time and a half. Anyway, so that's my interesting story for today. So anecdotally, the defendant only shot me when I pulled my illegally carried gun on him, the meanie. And that was signed with his left hand.
Well, and that begs the question: how did they swear him in?
Left hand on the Bible. I think you could still possibly.
No, there's no hand on his Bible.
COVID rules. Got it.
COVID rules. Yeah, I noticed that all week. But I have seen them raising the right hand, and I missed it on this one. So I definitely missed it. I'm so mad I missed it.
So
he's a dirty commie anyway. So.
I was gonna say, is he actually sworn in? Is the question.
I mean, he looked pretty slimy.
I'm sure there's been like a vet or something who's missing a right arm.
Make him swear on the Communist Manifesto.
Or
it's
Mao's
the problem. The problem with commies is that they have the same rules that the Muzzies have with it's okay to lie to those who aren't in the group.
I believe that's the same as the Jews as well.
Always gonna go there.
You're not going to. I'll fucking turn this car around and go there myself.
Did kind of open that door.
Just take 3 right turns and get there. That's a joke from earlier, because there's no lefts for lefty anymore. So, not a lot has gone on this week, but I have watched 37 hours of court trial last week and 6 of the 8 today, and I will be damned if we're not going to talk about it. But if anybody has anything they want to get to first, I'm open to it.
I mean, what would we like to discuss?
Have you seen the Young Turks walk back all of their bullshit accusations?
No.
Yeah, that happened this week.
I'm surprised they actually had the scrote to actually walk it back.
Well, when a lefty walks something back, they don't admit that they're walking it back. They just change their narrative.
Mm-hmm. She's like, what I learned. I'm like, yeah, you could have learned that by watching the same shit I watched, bitch.
Yeah, well, I the question that should be on everybody's mind, and Crowder finally actually brought it up, and it was something that I had wondered too when it was first mentioned on day one, when the prosecution said, we have FBI drone footage. Why did the FBI have drones out there?
Where else does the FBI have drones?
I can tell you it's not in Michigan.
We shoot ski Michigan for a reason. It's practice.
Well, I was just gonna say they're relying on their informants first and foremost.
well, when it's 2-1 against any witness, yeah, pretty much.
I thought it was 11-1.
No, technically they're saying 4 out of 12 were actual human people that didn't glow in the dark.
But yeah.
So out of the 12 of them, it's 2-1.
So, speaking of drone footage, what is the story behind the FBI supposedly, quote unquote, losing the high def version of the footage?
Yeah, it got misplaced and lost.
Okay, no, that's not drone footage though. That was in the air surveillance in a fixed wing airplane.
Was it that, or was it
10,000
a
feet.
Predator with thermal?
No, the high def is not thermal. It's two different things, and they're recorded at the same fucking belly of the same plane. It's not like there were multiple planes running. Well, there could have been. I don't know.
Are we sure it was a plane and not a drone?
That's their claim. We didn't actually get to hear it because the FBI witness was not shown or recorded for us.
Yeah. Well, neither was Grosskreutz phone, but
Well, we still got that footage because it was Facebook Live.
it was live streamed. Yeah.
I mean, the evidence is gone now, but I think the defense would have been well placed to say, well, why don't you surrender your phone right now?
Yeah.
Yeah,
Let's look
he's
up some
already
of your tweets
he's already
about,
bleach bit that shit.
Oh, I'm sure he has, but just to see the reaction.
Well, as we all know, Marcy's Law prevents that because Marcy's Law is Marcy's Law, and
Which-
not very well explained.
We won't discuss how the fact that it's unconstitutional, but
Marcy's Law?
Yeah.
Marcy's Law isn't unconstitutional.
it doesn't allow you to face your accuser. Granted, I get that the
No, Marcy's Law is greater protection for victims.
So you're implying
in the
somebody's a victim,
investigation.
huh?
In the investigation.
Oh, was that what it was?
Like they won't trample over their rights during an investigation. But I guess, if there is something in Marcy's Law where you don't have to face them, I could see it. Like if the defendant was forced to leave while she gave testimony, or vice versa, that could be some bullshit. But I don't picture it. We haven't gotten really to anything about gun charges, which apparently they're not fond of because they haven't really done anything with what's Blaine's real name? Zabruder? Zabrinski's the first shooter.
Zazinski or something like that.
Yeah. Anyway, so there's the first shooter who got off on $1,000 bail. Just that gun happened to get stolen before the police arrived for the initial interview with him that they finally tracked him down for. Kyle, who fired 8 shots and had 22 left in the mag, which means he is not an operator because as an operator, we carry 28 in the mag. Bitch.
Yep.
So either he had a a 30-round mag, loaded it, and didn't top it off, or he topped off a 29-round mag, which is also weird. But
I'm sure it was 30, and he just chambered the one and didn't top off.
and didn't have any backup mags or anything. It's very John Brown Club of you, John Brown Club of you, Kyle. Zeminski, thank you. It's not Kaminsky, it's Zeminski.
Yeah, that's what I
Where's
thought
the
I said.
Kaminsky?
Zeminski.
Does it start with a Z or a K?
Z.
Yeah, I think it's Zeminski. And then
A lot of
Gage.
Poles up in the Midwest. A lot of
Oh
Poles.
yeah, and apparently Armenians. But then Gage had his Glock in behind the back holster, because covers a tramp stamp of Che or something, and he didn't get charged with anything that night. So Kyle's the only motherfucker with a gun charge.
Yep.
But like, this trial is literally to determine if he's a victim or the aggressor, and it all happens at the same time. So you can't use Marcy's law because it doesn't affect Gage.
Correct. It was a mistake by the prosecution, and the investigators really.
Mistake. You're so funny.
Yeah, that's adorable. You think it was a mistake?
No, I know it was absolutely 100% contrived, but it has been exposed as a mistake by the prosecution that's going to go in Kyle's favor.
There hasn't been an error yet that hasn't gone into Kyle's favor. It's very weird.
I don't know if they allow for jury questions, but if I was on the jury, that would be my question.
What?
Why did you fuck up your interview with... Why? Number one, first and foremost, why wasn't Gross Cuts, Lefties, whatever the fuck his name is,
Royce Fritz.
why wasn't his testimony recorded like literally everybody else?
Yeah.
Whether or not you present it or not, and whether or not you hand it over as evidence, can be subject to Marcy's law if he is going to be deemed a victim. But to not record it at all is gross negligence. You fucked up.
Well, here's the thing. Grace Kritz isn't the only living victim. Richie McGinnis is there, too. And Richie McGinnis technically is a victim in this case.
He is one of the ones that the charges are based on, yes.
Yeah. So, what's the difference? Because they got the video from Richie. They got the recorded testimony from Richie. They downloaded his phone. Everything. But they didn't with this guy.
And that might be based simply on the fact that he was an injured party.
Yeah. No, Silly Toys, I've got to argue that, because I watched Jury Selection. Did you watch Jury Selection? Because if you didn't watch Jury Selection, I have a bone to pick with you about not watching Jury Selection, because that was fucking 8 hours of my life that kind of were wasted, but I still liked it. There was a super-based gun owner guy who happens to have a blog and is all about the 2A and doesn't think he will be able to keep his opinions to himself and would like to be excused from this jury. Not based. Fucking dipshit. This is how you lose your Second Amendment, is by doing bullshit like that.
Yeah.
You can have your biased opinion and then put it aside to look at what you perceive to be happening in a jury trial. I think all of us can, because our identities are not based around anything that is particularly happening in this instance. And we're not lefties here. I mean, Steven's gay. That's as close as we got. He can't even tell how other gay people are, so that doesn't even help his case much.
I know.
Don't
His
proliferate
gaydar
well.
is broken.
It is. Every couple of days I throw someone's gay at him, and he's like, "No, they're not." I'm like, "Dude, so gay." You are not good at this. No wonder you have to go to conventions to meet men. Bathroom stalls with holes in them. But yeah, he stepped away from the case. And there was this one girl. She was hilarious. This lady was like, when you say not to talk about it, I'm a gossip. Does that mean like not talk about it at all? And he's like, well, you cannot talk about it, or we could separate you from the rest of the jury and keep you here for the week. Like, oh, I can keep my shot.
Mm-hmm. Sure she can.
Oh no, it's current lefty. He's lefty from now on. That dude ain't right.
That boy ain't right.
Close, Ellie. It was why did Kenosha fire 7 shots at Jacob Blake? Because they ran out of bullets.
Yeah.
But any group that of people who are don't have the balls to say that joke, it's not particularly funny.
No.
I don't take them seriously as human beings. If you're repeating something somebody else said, you need to use the full. And actually, Richie, or was it Richie or was it Jason, who called people a-holes? Was that Jason? Does anybody remember that?
Mm-mm.
Well, I think it was Jason who described the people there as a-holes, and the judge was like, "Hey, now." I'm like, "No, you don't get to do that, Judge." "Yeah, I get it to court. Fuck court. There's a freedom of speech, and you want to understand that person, not what that person thinks you need them to say or want them to say. You can't curtail their speech."
But I'm just going to say,
yeah,
Rosenbaum's, shoot me. It's been played a lot.
Oh yeah. Sometimes it's been bleeped. Sometimes it hasn't.
Yeah.
But defense attorney, what's his fuck, was like, "Shoot me, nigger." And I'm like, that was the hard R. You're supposed to use a soft A. That's not an accent. That's an actual different word, sir. There's a connotation in everything. You went a little far there.
Yeah.
Well, they're dropping F-bombs in testimony. What's wrong with
As they
a-holes?
should. As they should. But he said a-hole. And the judge was like, "This is a court of law." I'm like, yeah, and? Do you want honesty or do you want censorship? Fuck you. It's the only gripe I've had about the judge so far.
Yeah.
He's been pretty quick with the sustaining or objecting to objections, overruling or sustaining to objections, and I appreciated it so far. He's been pretty on the money. But I don't know. It's almost as if the prosecution and the defense have the wrong playbooks. Because up until today, all of the damning points were scored by the prosecution, not the defense. Which is a method of mitigating the impact, but they're not really doing that. They're not cushioning the fall. They're allowing bombs to drop. And I don't understand behind it. And I still don't understand what's up with that bag. It's day fucking 6. It's his last day. Well, tomorrow will be the last day of prosecution. And they're still talking about the goddamn bag.
Can you dig it?
He threw the bag. It missed. That bag no longer matters. I don't care if there is a bomb in it or not. Yeah. Well, prosecution is winning it for Rittenhouse, but it seems like defense is doing their best to snatch defeat out of the jaws of victory.
Has Garrick put in a request to join the chat?
Oh shit. Was that? I'm not paying attention.
That
No,
was-
he isn't.
Okay, because he's saying hello in our group chat like we're ignoring him.
Oh,
or
here he
something.
is. Okay, now we go. What?
Hello.
Yeah, we're here.
Oh, hi there.
Okay.
Sorry I'm late.
How's the apartment?
It's coming along. And Vince and Mike give me a hand moving the stuff out of the trailer and into the apartment itself. So finally done.
Well, that's good.
I just care.
What's going on? What you got?
We're just bullshitting. Not talking about anything important.
Yeah. Since when do we ever talk about anything important?
I mean,
I mean,
Rittenhouse isn't important, so
huh?
Rittenhouse isn't important, so yeah.
Yes, arguably.
So
How do I
anyway,
make new
you were saying, Jay
friends?
Fry?
Here is information from Parade.
Oh, so that's how I make new friends. Okay, that's.
You're my best buddy, my bestie, and my homie, all rolled into one gorgeous human package.
Okay, enough of you, Alexa. Get out of here.
I like her accent.
Never mind.
Yeah.
You bet.
For you?
I was looking up new friends, and you guys clearly suck. Like, Alexa, find me people who want to talk on a podcast for free on Monday nights. Sort them by average of showing up time and average of times they will be absent.
Yeah, I'm fucked.
First entry, Tim Pool.
Although in the last week, his numbers have significantly dropped. Tim Pool had an average start time of on time.
I was gonna say, I was getting a little worried for a minute there because he went an entire week with no shows.
Well, he had the coof.
Yeah, I heard.
And he's technically supposed to go 14 days in isolation. That's not isolation if people are showing up at your compound.
I don't think he's having any guests.
No, okay, that's fair then.
Yeah, he's
I
just
mean,
got Luke Frykowski there. That's it.
Call it the cold crew. Like
Well, and Lydia and
cold
Ian.
coffin.
Which honestly, I'd be more concerned with Lydia than anybody else. So,
Yeah,
she's got
well,
medical issues.
well, it came to light that he actually had gotten the vaccine.
Oh, he had?
Yeah, so it's a breakthrough case.
But yet he still had to get the monoclonal antibodies.
Yeah, well, he wasn't stating who it was, but that somebody at the compound had gotten an early doses of the vaccine, and somebody had recently gotten vaccinated, and both of them had gotten COVID. Or yeah, and one was a lesser case than the other, and of course he almost died, so he was clearly the more case. But my brother got the COVID shots because he was visiting my grandma who has dementia, and he thought, oh, I better get the shots then. But he's not showing them to his work. Like, I'm not showing you proof of vaccination. I've got a right to privacy on my health care.
But
My favorite testimony so far this entire time has been that first brother from the Indian car lot, where like he called combat boots fancy shoes. He was putting on these fancy shoes. Like, those are combat boots, sir.
Were they really good combat boots, or were they shitty knockoff combat boots?
They were actually probably combat boots that he got from the army.
What, he has a guest?
He does?
Hang on. Yeah, Kash Patel.
What? Isn't that the
Kind of caught.
Hang on, I want to see if he's actually live. Maybe they had him by phone? I don't know.
No, he's live.
If Luke would ever shut the fuck up.
No, he's on there. He's on there. He's in the
Yeah,
llama
he's there.
suit.
But did y'all see that Slade had posted an article that he had died?
Who?
Tim or Cash?
Y'all
I
didn't see
just got the Garrick hello message.
All right, well, I guess I'm going to have to watch this one later.
Yeah, that's what I do. I watch Timcasts on my way home from work, and I haven't been able to do that this week. Thanks, Tim. So I've been watching Are You Here? So I get home fairly pissed off because I do not care for Elijah Schaefer.
No.
And Sydney just doesn't impress me. But
Yet
I
somehow
don't-
they give off blonde and matte vibes. I have to disagree.
huh?
Somebody said Sunday night that they're giving off matte and blonde vibes.
Yeah, because it's a guy and a girl doing a show together. It's nothing alike.
Yeah.
What podcast is this?
You are here with Elijah Schaefer and Sydney
Sydney Watson.
Watson.
Nobody could ever beat or replace Becca, even though she's been talking kind of stupid as of late.
Is she pregnant? Because she's been saying that shit.
She must be preggers.
Again.
Hey, she won't complain.
Yeah. And there's been disingenuous headlines all over the place. Like The Hill said that the witness testified that Rosenbaum was not a threat. I was like, the witness was a Marine with half a foot and an assault rifle, according to you guys. You know, give my grandma 38 and she's not scared of shit. But like, do we even know how tall Kyle is? Ignore the fact that he's a 17-year-old kid at the time, and shit was going crazy. But then, like, they're not even like putting that into focus. Kyle got separated from his group because that's what had happened. He had just Balch, whatever the fuck his name is, the army vet with 2 tours, had gone into a convenience store to fill up on Red Bull and fuckwit because he was empty of fuckwit apparently. And Kyle was on his own, and then the police were starting to push them in, so they'd closed off, and he couldn't get back to where he was, and was forced to separate. So he was alone in this. There were no other militia people in the area, so he had been singled out. So, like, there's been no focus on that, and we're still in the prosecution phase, so they're not really caring to add to that. But that's stuff you have to take into account in that situation. And this is the reason that he got preyed on by Joseph Rosenbaum. He was alone. He had threatened, if I catch you alone, I will do things to you because I like doing things to you. Also, that needs to be mentioned as well. There's talk of Rosenbaum being a pedophile, and he is. He's a pedophile. But
Not
those
anymore.
charges, yeah, he used to could. Now he can't. Those charges stem back to 2002, and if you take 36 and you take 18 years away from it, there's a chance that he was in juvie when he fucked 9 to 11-year-olds. So they were boys and they were in juvie, but that doesn't change it at all to me. Prepubescent, preteen rape. So Gage got his ass handed to him in the cross-examination. I actually haven't seen it yet. I've only gotten what Tim Pool said. I was able to watch the second half, which was the last half hour of Gage, and I missed him because I I had missed that half hour, so he was leaving the witness stand as I got there, and I'm missing 2 hours of his testimony. But I got the rest of the witnesses today, and the precursor to it, where they were nice enough to list all of his accomplishments, and I believe they were just breaking into how he learned to walk so that he could be patrolling the streets of Kenosha that night. Apparently, that's where. God damn! It has just been so much boring testimony this first 2 hours. Yeah, prison jumpsuits. They were in juvie. It's fucking killing me. And the one thing that I could disagree with that Croit said, or Grosskreutz said before he started just outwardly lying, is that a AR-15 is a large caliber rifle.
Yes.
Somebody on the defense should have had knowledge of guns or 2A and said something against that, which he did. Somebody actually said that when they were putting out the dumpster fire with like a 2-liter bottle of water. It was very weird. But he came out, put out the dumpster fire, said, "Fuck around and find out." And the people recording it, citizen journalist, that fucking bald guy, was like, "Hey, we don't need that kind of talk. Go back on your property. We're just burning shit in the middle of the street." And even the militia guys were perfectly fine with them tearing down light poles and burning down the police station and courthouse, but they were protecting property. And it's like, whose fucking side are you retards on? Because you're not on my side here with your AR-15s and stupidity. But I don't know. Did anybody have anything they took from what saw this week of testimony?
That
If anybody has a different opinion, I would love to hear it, and then tell you you're wrong.
I mean, the defense has got. I mean, the prosecution's got nothing. What the fuck are they trying to do? What are they trying to prove?
That Kyle's a killer, and they're failing. They need to bring the bombs in and have them explode, and then mitigate the damage that the bombs do. And they're not successfully doing that. But they're taking weapons away from the defense, but the defense has been acting as if it's scared something will explode, because they're not putting forth most of the effort. Today was the first time that the defense scored points, and I'm not even sure it was intentional, because I haven't seen it yet. Yeah. If you're giving first aid or CPR or an AED, the last thing you want is people there to help you. But maybe it's like a trained medic having turf wars. Like, this is my block. I put out the bandages around here, motherfucker. It's been a shit show, and the prosecution, as much as it looks like they're trying to throw it, they clearly are not, because they're pulling out every effort to delay and drag on the trial in a way that is beneficial to their side, even though the testimony is entirely damning to their case in every single instance. Like, it wasn't the defense that got Richie McGinnis to say that Joseph Rosenbaum said "fuck you" and reached for the gun. That was prosecution. Yeah, Mike. It's absolutely ridiculous. And we have the video of Kyle actually talking to Gage, and Gage's testimony is that Kyle said he was working with the police and had it for him, and he had Gage still pulled his gun. That's some weird shit. You got tweets from Gage saying to wait for the bomb to drop tomorrow when we hear about Kyle racking his gun. Wink, wink.
I don't remember seeing that in the video.
Because it didn't happen in the video, and we have 3 different videos of it.
Right. So he did not re-rack?
No. Well, he did. He did re-rack. He did rack the gun after jump kick guy. Yeah,
But not
he
gross
cleared
guns.
his chamber after jump kick guy. Nothing to do with Gage.
So this, Gage was the last victim, right?
Yeah.
Victim. Last assailant, I should say.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. So Huber died after the re-rack.
Yes.
So it was just all lies.
All of it, yes.
Was Lefty giving Kyle the eye there in court or not?
He was like oddly focused on the jury in a way that was, I found it unhelpful because of like the fullness he would adjust his body to the jury, but then the fullness he would adjust his body to the prosecutor while talking. Again, I haven't gotten to the defense part yet, so I don't have the entire statement in order. I've missed apparently the good parts of today because I had to be on here with you guys. I didn't wake up till 2 today. By the way, my
Always
day
got one
off,
left.
I woke up early to get this done. So, you're welcome.
Yeah. So, all right. Well, fellas, I'm going to go ahead and hop off here because it's getting close to where I need to go to bed. So,
Okie dokie.
So soon?
I know, so soon. I mean, you would have had a long time to talk to me if you were actually on time.
Well, I was busy moving in. Forgive me.
You're not forgiven, but that is what it is. So,
Fair enough.
all right. Have a good night, fellas. Have a good night, everybody. I'll
Take care.
see you guys later.
Auf Wiedersehen.
Apparently, no. Sally Toy says, just so everyone knows, the roads and highways are racist. No, actually, they're the not racist part because that's where the black people are. After all, it is called blacktop. But they. Neil's been pointing this out. It's kind of like, at this point, it's a little ridiculous about just all these bitches running their mouths. And every time I hear it now, I just think of bitches running their mouths. And one of them was like, go back on your business, mind your business. I'm like, I fucking hate you, whore. like, maybe some rape is okay. That'll shut her up.
No, it wouldn't.
I'm getting raped right now. I'm getting raped right now. Underpasses are for Haitians, so you gotta be careful with those. Yeah, Garrick, what did you think watching the trial? Were you watching the trial? Were you ignoring the trial? Or are you just getting like
no longer
quotes
here.
from? Oh, Garrick's gone too.
Mm-hmm.
So it's just us.
Yeah.
Wonderful. So what do you think? What do you got for me?
I haven't watched. I didn't get a chance to watch it today. I was too busy, holding down a job.
Dude, I outworked you this week, and I still watched everything. Well, I have more hours than you do, at least.
Yeah. And honestly, I don't care to watch because, it's important, but me watching it doesn't help.
True. I didn't watch the Chauvin case, but I'm not sure if it was even available. But I will be watching this one. I will be watching Juicy. not to the same extent. Like, I want to see, like, I think he will testify because he's kind of got to explain everything. Because this is all him. Like, so that should be interesting. And I do want to see what's on the Ghislaine Maxwell case.
I'm surprised she's still alive.
So far. Hashtag Ghislaine didn't kill herself.
Yeah, no kidding. What's up with the dumpster defender case?
That is let's see how that's going. I thought it got pushed back, but it might have gotten pushed back to the end of October.
I think it got pushed back till next year, if I recall, but I'm not on top of it, like, because I just don't care.
Okay, let's see.
And didn't the jogger case get pushed too, or is that still in jury selection?
Yeah, the jogger with the UGG boots, who was farther away from his house than Kyle was from his.
I think those guys are toast.
He charged them. That's self-defense, bro. In the state of Texas, that's self-defense.
Well, I can see that there's a self-defense angle. The bullshit citizen's arrest nonsense is going to basically undo that claim, I think.
They didn't step forward, though. That's just talk. So this is from 2021. Set to go to trial August 23rd. Okay, this is not helpful because that's May. All right, September 8th. Trial postponed. Postponed for... Oh, do not make me... Come on now. Nope, have to buy that one from the Texas Star.
Try archive today.
I'm trying for I've reworded I went with dumpster defender trial, and now I'm going with Johnny and Michael Miller trial.
I doubt it, trial.
I doubt it. Just tell me in the first fucking sentences, why am I on the fourth fucking paragraph? Fifth fucking paragraph. Sixth fucking 45 witnesses to testify on Miller's behalf? Jesus Christ. 2019 trial. Incident captured family of the victims. Don Juan Street on September 1st, 2018. Four times the trial's been. Why is it? Where is it now? There. That's not in here. Uh, 2020. 9 p.m. August 23rd. That clearly is not it. Really? The new year. That's all it gives me. It's been pushed back to the new year. But that was on September 7th. Why?
Texas
They were
justice
going
runs slow.
Fucking COVID ruining everything for me. Yeah, we got that going for us. So, what? Ahmaud Arbery, I don't even fucking care for. We do have the Blacks, the Black Floyds. Yeah. What's his first name? Something Rice is George Floyd's cousin. Yeah. How is that not illegal? They're brilliant, buddy. You're going to jail. You're not going to get any money out of this case unless they shoot you while they're trying to arrest you, and then your family's getting it, not you.
And like if it was Jacob's Blake's family that was threatening the jury, that'd still be weird because it's still at least one segment disremoved from what the actual event was. But
I would like to remind everybody, no blacks were harmed in the filming of this murder. In fact, they got to kick in on Whitey with no harm.
I don't get it. That this has absolutely, with all the other shit that had to do with George Floyd over last year, this one had absolutely nothing to do with George Floyd. Why is it the Floyd family that's doing this?
Yeah. Why isn't, if this is all about the shooting of Jacob Blake, why isn't Jacob Blake out there marching? Huh? This is some bullshit. I mean, what? Is there no ramp? What's happening at this point? Didn't they get paid already?
The riots shall not be ADA compliant.
I found out. I'm like, why are the brothers here? Because I was talking about the brother with the put on his fancy shoes. He's like, and then you drove your. Do you have a car or truck? And he goes, I got 10 cars. Yeah, well, you're. Who would have guessed that the used car salesman's shady? So, from my understanding, and because I understand immigrant businesses and lived in a shady fucking town for a long part of my life, what is happening with the Car Source and Car Doctor and the other lot is they buy probably cars from auction, or outright buy cars that are not in proper working order, run them through Car Doctor to get them repaired, and then sell them on their lots. Now there's a car lot, then there's a storage for cars, which is best probably described as a junkyard, and a car repair. That's why the Car Doctor is in his wife's name and Car Source is in his name, so that they can say they're paying back and forth monies that get deducted from taxes that aren't actually getting deducted from the car dealership is legit. It's not a new car dealership, it's a used car dealership, and they are taking cars that have been wrecked, totaled, or just damaged, or getting them at a good price, fixing them up and selling them at a better price. So you could take okay, I went to a sale once, and it was in 2005, and there was a 2004 Excursion for $9,000 because this Excursion had 220,000 miles on it. Now you take that Excursion that's 1 year old, and you pull that engine and you put in a new engine, you can legally reset the odometer to 0 because there is 0 miles on that engine, and you effectively have yourself a brand new car. 2,000 in parts and 3,000 in labor. You can take a $9,000 car and make it a $30,000 car, and that's within legality in the state of Michigan. And that's something to also remember. There are federal laws which count in every state, but each state has their own individual laws. In Michigan, if you get a felony, you can't get your gun back. You can't get your voting rights back. In Michigan, you stay on the registry, the Michigan Sex Offender Registry. The federal registry lets you off. So, that's the different laws for different states. So Gage, who had a felony charge against him and served his time and got back, he cannot carry a CPL, or he can't have a CPL, concealed pistol license, but he can still own a pistol, and he was carrying it that day. So that's not illegal. In my state, it would be. What about you, Sean?
I haven't actually looked into it because I don't plan on being a felon and need to know. But my rough understanding is that if you're convicted of a felony, you no longer can carry.
Yeah.
Cannot own, I believe. So
Mm-hmm.
a lot of felons' wives and girlfriends own the firearms.
My dog carries when I'm in California. I just had to get a dog first. Can you rent a dog?
It's like
No
G.
state in the
Gordon.
nation says it got.
G.
No
Gordon
state in the
Liddy. Remember that guy?
What about him?
G. Gordon Liddy, the only guy who went to jail for Watergate.
Well, what happened?
Not allowed to own a gun, so his wife owned a bunch of guns.
Oh yeah. It's a tax dodge, but it's technically a legal tax dodge, because it's under two different names. But at the same time, if you are, I could see it going the other way. Like, if you're a dude who owns a car dealership and it needs repairs, and you meet another woman who runs a repair shop, that could, complementary businesses could make strange bedfellows. So it just determines which way it happened, because a lot of doctors and nurses get together because their businesses cross over. Cops and nurses, doctors and nurses, they share spaces, even though cops hate mental hospitals. Speaking of, Rosenbaum's a crazy person. I'm willing to bet that the defense, when they start their case, they will not even ask on the autopsy if if Rosenbaum had his pills in his system. The fiance, if she is fiance, said she did. He had taken his bipolar medication. I had eyeballs. I don't think he was taking his bipolar, and if he did, he needs his dose up, because he looked pretty schizo out there.
I'm still trying to wrap my head around it because they didn't. At least I haven't seen the forensic evidence of Rosenbaum dying from being shot in the back while falling forward.
I don't see how he was shot in the back at all, particularly, but Kyle was stepping to the side, so if he had kept following with him, I could see a bullet going, like if you do people are three-dimensional, but if you treated him like a coin, he would have gotten shot in the rim of the coin instead of on the eagle side of the coin. But I could see like him getting them calling a back shot at 3:05 p.m. Just past 3 o'clock. You shot him in the back. That's forward. But I've probably watched them attack Kyle after Rosenbaum, and I gotta say that is some of the best handling of a firearm I have ever seen. Legally, I cannot think I've ever seen a better example. Now, Keanu Reeves in John Wick has excellent gun handling, but he shoots everybody. He shoots the people with the unloaded guns. Like there was no stopping that. That was all Hollywood bullshit. But I can't even. If I was in the same position, I'm not even sure if I would have made all the same calls Kyle did.
God, no.
Or recognized that I needed to clear the chamber and seed a new round. it's instinctual for me once my gun doesn't fire to reload. But I've had occasions where I'm firing and I'm like, why the fuck are you're there's a malfunction.
Wait a minute. If Kyle fired 8 rounds but had to clear one, why is there not a -9 count on the mag?
It could have been a stovepipe. The stovepipe would have caused the round to fall out, and the next round to be seated.
Right, but when he cleared it, that would have popped out a live round. There should be a live round floating around on the ground.
No, not there's a stovepipe. The stovepipe would have kept the magazine from adding one to the chamber.
Oh, I see what you're saying.
Yeah, so he would have pulled it back. That would have caused the shell to fall out, and then take the round that should have been in the barrel to the barrel nut.
Gotcha.
Yeah, I've watched it repeatedly, and he did, with the exception of being there, arguably, everything right.
Well, and he did have 2 misplaced rounds that he fired as the guy who was trying to stomp his head.
He had just been hit in the back of the head by a skateboard.
Right.
I still think he did that right. He missed less than everybody else did.
I still
And
don't
I guarantee
understand.
you, if those rounds would have hit somebody else, like in the crowd randomly, they also would have been felons.
Probably. I find it incredibly interesting that the investigation did not turn up that head stomping dude that didn't get hit.
Oh, that dude had warrants.
Oh, I'm sure, but if you get this high profile of a case and the cops can't find that person, kind of speaks to the cops not doing a very good job.
They didn't. They did a terrible job.
And where's the FBI help in that one?
Yeah, they did such a terrible job that they were requiring. You haven't. How much of the case have you watched?
Practically none.
Okay, what was Kyle wearing that night from your recollection?
He was definitely wearing blue gloves, green
Okay,
shirt, and I think khakis. I don't look at pants typically, so I'm assuming
they're blue jeans.
Okay, so they're blue jeans, and I'm and a backwards baseball cap.
Yes. Okay. And that's the major takeaway. Every part of the film. First off, I'm not a fan of the blue gloves because those are not sanitary. You put on gloves. Once you use them, you take them off. Sanitation. I am more disgusted when I see somebody using gloves and not taking them off than I am anything else. Your hands have oils to keep your hands clean. If you happen to be making my Subway fucking sandwich or whatever, I would rather you did it with your washed hands than the gloves that I don't know how long you've been wearing them for. But I didn't like that. I don't know if Kyle is an EMT, but Kyle is
A
a
lifeguard.
lifeguard.
You're right.
Lifeguard training comes with first aid. Advanced first aid.
Advanced first aid and CPR and
AED.
Yeah, it's like he's probably not a fully qualified EMT, but he's damn close.
Mm-hmm. Well, the T in EMT is technician. So that requires equipment. You cannot be an EMT on the ground. You need a goddamn ambulance. But EMT certification, which I have, is not even as advanced as first aid is. And the first thing you learn in first aid, before you render any aid to anybody else, you visually inspect the surroundings for your safety and their safety. Kyle could not give first aid to Joseph Rosenbaum because the site was not safe. Kyle could not give first aid to Anthony Huber. Huber? Clearly, it was not safe. And again, could not give first aid to Gage Grosskreutz for the very same reason. But step number 1, making sure the area is safe. Not going to happen. 2 is asking for the permission from the person if responsive to help. If not, consent is implied. By the very act of them being unconscious, they are giving consent. That's a good Samaritan law. It's not actually them giving consent. It is just understood that consent is given. But the so you recognize he was wearing gloves. Did you see any pictures of him from that night, which we all covered in great detail watching the videos last year anyway?
Sorry about that. Girlfriend interrupted, or fiance.
Okay. Did you see him without gloves in any of the pictures?
There is one where I think he had one glove off, and I remember that because it stands out because I was looking at it going, is he not wearing a glove in that one? I think there was
wearing a glove in most of them.
Most of them he is. Like almost all of the video and the pictures I've seen, he's wearing 2 gloves. But there is one still picture that I saw, and I don't know at what point during the night it was taken, but it looks like he had his right hand ungloved.
Mm-hmm. He shouldn't have been wearing gloves, period. When he would render aid, he should have put on gloves, but it's not even a necessity. But, for hygiene's sakes and sanitation's sakes and blood's sake, you put on gloves. My first aid kit, they all have gloves. I carry a 5-pack of gloves in a little fucking container in my pocket at all times. Poso said the feds are giving the Rittenhouse case HD video footage that was deleted. Poso said the feds are giving the Rittenhouse case HD footage. You missing a word or using the wrong word?
Yeah, but who are the feds giving it to? The prosecution? Because it's a little late now, and the defense would have to be able to review it before it could be admitted as evidence anyway.
Feds are giving the Rittenhouse case HD video footage. Yeah, you're missing a word in there somewhere, Sully. Or have one too many. Or 3 too little. Either or. Was Poso given the deleted Fed footage? Feds are giving it. Okay, well, we'll see. If anybody should know what the feds are doing, it's Poso.
Insider info.
Insider investigation. Like, they met up at the local clan meeting, shot the shit, and, happened to mention it. Then he went back to not being a Fed, where he is definitely a Fed. Because that's how it is. It's the same thing as being a Marine. Once a Marine, always a Marine. Same with the feds. He is a investigative journalist, whatever the fuck he's claiming to be. And fuck this guy who's on testimony today calling himself a citizen journalist. All journalists are citizens. Go fuck yourself with your name. Fed is a Fed is a Fed.
Well, a citizen journalist just means you don't have actual media credentials. Which I would like to know, what do you have to do to get media credentials?
There's no such thing. It's not a thing. There's White House credentials. But
no, because when Tim got wrapped up in the thing in D.C. in 2017, he was arrested and then they vetted his quote unquote journalistic credentials or media credentials, and that's how he got out.
Yeah, because he is, for lack of a better term, accredited. He came from out of state and had a reason to be there. But I can go to anything that's happening locally with my phone, and they're going to say, you have to move back 25 feet. Like, I'm a journalist. And they have to accept that. I am a journalist. If the journalist is being allowed at 25 feet, I can be at 25 feet. So we'll see about that. But so the whole reason I brought up the gloves is because they used DNA evidence to prove Kyle Rittenhouse's gun, which is under no there is no argument that isn't Kyle's gun. There is no argument Kyle didn't fire 8 rounds. There is no argument the bullets in Kyle's gun were Kyle's bullets. They used DNA evidence. They swabbed the what is called the barrel guard. I don't know what that is. The hand grip, the trigger, and the magazine. And for all of it, getting past the jargon, they found Kyle's DNA all over the gun. No one else's, arguably.
Well, I think that's what they're going. That's what they're going for. They're going for nobody else's DNA. Therefore, no one ever grabbed the gun. Therefore, they're victims, not assault, not people committing assault. That's what they're going for.
Except, not only is that not true, it was shown to be untrue because Richie said Joe Rosenbaum grabbed the barrel. The barrel was not swabbed. There are pictures of Huber grabbing both the magazine and another part of the gun. And they had to admit that if it wasn't for a long enough time, there might not be a significant amount of DNA left for this swab to have identified somebody. Yeah, Mike Hawk says you can literally print your own press pass and hang it from a lanyard. But by the very act of putting press on my jacket, I am now the press. It can't be assumed that I am press, but if I state that I am press, I am pressed. Now, that's actually a problem because what these fuckfaces and what Gage Grosskreutz would have done in this instance, because Grosskreutz is a piece of shit, is he would have claimed press and tried to get that legitimacy, which I'm surprised it didn't come up in what I've seen so far. But like I remember, if Antifa is press, as long as they have their cell phone out, and so many fucking people have their cell phone out. But yeah, you can get arrested for curfew violation, and you can go to jail for curfew violation, even though it's not as significant. It's like 3 days. But like if you don't get a lawyer or anything, and you just keep waiving all your rights and stuff, and admit that you did it, you can get found guilty of it. Or you can see you have a First Amendment right for assembly, and you can be 4 years old, and they can't charge you with curfew violation. But it's your defense, what's used in your defense that is what matters. Again, Mike Hawk's right here. He says your Liberative pass, because your channel name is Liberative, won't get you into the same place as an ABC News pass will, but it's legally the same thing.
Right.
And Silly says the media is praising Grosskreutz right now. Fuck him. He's such a piece of... I hope he's the reason Kyle walks. And that some juror actually says it. Like, I was dead set. I thought Kyle was guilty the whole time, but I thought I could open myself up and be reasonable. And, I heard Rich McGinnis say, fuck you, when he reached for the gun, but I still thought... But he shot that Gage Grosskreutz, and Gage Grosskreutz was not doing nothing wrong. And then he shot Huber, and then Huber's great-grandmother's aunt's nephew, niece's third time removed cousin's sister was on the stand. And I believe he was innocent too. And then Grishkitz got up, and I had been thinking Kyle was guilty for 14 months, and he was such a sack of shit that I'm glad he killed Uber. Not guilty.
I don't think the jury will be giving interviews if they acquit.
Yeah, no shit. I know that. As I said, I hoped. like, well, I mean, they didn't for Rittenhouse either, and or not Rittenhouse,
Chauvin.
Chauvin, and they found him guilty. Just that one idiot came out because he wanted a book deal, and that's why they confronted him with all of his BLM outfits and his George Floyd jersey and shit, and that's not looking good for him no more. But god damn, I fucking hate politics, and justice is not politics. There's no reason Kyle should have been charged the way he was.
Nope.
Like, he should have been arrested, absolutely been arrested,
Mm-hmm.
and then maybe gone in front of the judge and gotten bail, and the bail could have been high, and then it should have been released that the prosecution, having gone through all the evidence that was available, putting the case together to prosecute him, said, this kid's innocent, we're gonna have to let him go.
But they didn't because they were trying to mitigate riots, which is equally as reprehensible as it's just a miscarriage of justice. You make a political move based on your desire to not have events happen.
And it was more than just that.
It's basically fuck the law, fuck your rights, fuck everything. We just don't want people, we don't want riots and more property damage.
Yeah, and the Armenian mayor was up for re-election in 2020. I can't, Armenian, whatever his name was.
Yeah.
He was up for re-election. And instead of anything talking about the riots, they talked about Rittenhouse. But shit, Joe Biden came out and called him a racist white supremacist.
Yeah, it takes one to know one, right?
Yeah, just a bit.
Yeah, the politicize everything is gotten real goddamn old.
Mm-hmm. Oh, so did you watch V Radio? Interview with Neo and Realist?
I caught some of it. I actually had something to go do that night, so I couldn't watch all of it. Or was it that morning? I don't remember. It was that morning.
It was I think it was that night. I think it was a long ass thing. He had done the entire day streaming of the Rittenhouse trial, and then did 4 hours with this motherfucker. This motherfucker was like, "Well, I'm gonna go," and he was like, "You sure? I got 2 more hours I could do."
Neo is a verbose dude.
Yeah. When we had him on, we did 3 hours of the stream, and then he and I talked for an additional 4. Yeah. Sean was like, "I'm 3 hours behind you guys, and I'm going to bed." But yeah, I just sent him there's a new Bloodsport coming out.
Yeah.
And we would probably talk for 2 hours about Bolo Ying and him being Chinese and swimming to Hong Kong as a bodybuilder, and so it has Bolo Ying in it, and it's really interesting because it's like Frank got dishonored and Bolo kind of like gained honor afterwards, and now he's telling a different story of what happened. I don't know what Bolo Ying's name was in the movie, which is like the opposite of what happened, because Frank Dukes literally, who was a real person by the way, got completely dishonored as a fighter, and the fact that Bloodsport never took place. He said he fought 52 times in a tournament, a one-drop tournament. 52 fights for each individual would have been something like 1 million fights in total. Because each ranking, 52 versus 52, then 26 versus 26 of those winners. and then 1313. Just the numbers are astronomical. Or enough to make $1 million, whichever is bigger. Dare I say, infinite? But no.
So you would say that there was a plethora of fights.
There was a plethora, right? So Frank Dukes, then like other things, like he had two writers credits, and it's Bloodsport and The Quest, which is the same goddamn thing. And but it looks interesting, and I want to see it. And it looks like it's Frank Dukes defending himself against the lies that were told by whoever bullied his character. But it's interesting, so I'll give it a shot. But anyways, I sent it to Neo to get his take on it. I'll hear back from him anyway. Anyway, so the theory V Radio gave out, because he followed this explicitly, and I actually watched his Kyle Rittenhouse documentary, which was pretty good. It gave me things I didn't know about, like the most evil person there that night was Zeminski.
The guy who fired the first shot?
Yeah. And that the police, when they went to investigate him, the gun was stolen, he claimed.
Oh, yeah?
Yeah. And just like there's all these battery charges, and his wife is a piece of shit, but she doesn't have all the same charges, like DUIs and shit and petty shit. But his thoughts are the witness, the Marine Jason, that he sent Kyle away and then opened fire into the air to draw the attention away from Kyle. So that's the gunshots we were hearing in the background. So when Kyle had shot Rosenbaum and it fled, that it was Jason, the Marine, who then, because all the Marines claiming is he went to go help and blacked out.
Oh, that's convenient.
Yeah. So there's just like, well, what happened? Well, there's no video of what happened, so you can't tell me what happened, and I don't remember what happened. I came to when I was helping Grosskreutz tie back his bicep together so that he could let go of his fully loaded Glock I then took from him and checked that there was a round in the chamber. But so he's got that one, and he's also got one on January 6th. I downloaded the Rittenhouse one, and I couldn't download the January 6th one. I have to watch it live. It's restricted content, so for some reason I can't download it.
That's weird.
So after I watch the last 2 hours of the trial today, I'll watch that January 6th one. He was very knowledgeable on the topic, and apparently he made it 3 different times to fix things. And things he'd found out. And he'd actually had a conversation with both Zabinski, or whatever his fucking name is, and Grosskreutz, because they had come to his comment section to talk shit. So, very interesting guy.
Huh.
Seemed very knowledgeable about the case, too.
Yeah, I was impressed with what I did manage to catch with him on Neo's stream.
I'm very impressed with Neo's stream. Now, for those of you who don't know, my degree is in criminal justice. One of my 2 degrees is in criminal justice, because I'm that guy as well. But
The other's in magic.
Neo, huh?
Just making a side comment. I said the other one's in magic.
Yeah. Oh. I used that the other day, and I was like, yeah. You'd be surprised how much pussy that magic got me growing up in high school. And they were like, a lot? I was like, none. Surprise. They told you you'd be surprised. Gotcha. I watched this one magic trick the other day, and they were holding up two cards, and one was the King of Diamonds, and one was like the Five of Spades. And they go, "Look at your card. Now watch magically as your card changes sides." And he moved the cards, like his one hand was much farther forward than the other hand, and he brought them both together, and one got smaller and the other got larger. And I'm like, it's not a magic trick. Both cards change size. Like, there's no magic there. You son of a bitch. Fuck you, Wiseman Magic. But with the exception of, like, he missed the large caliber, and he didn't understand the concept of downloading to fit 28 in your magazine instead of 30, or the significance of loading 30 into a 30-round magazine. Because Kyle loaded 30, and Balsach, whatever his name is, he had 1 in 28. So he missed those, but that's really the only thing he missed. He was very on point. He knew about procedure. He understood what the prosecutor was doing. He understood the importance of what the judge was doing, and he was a finance guy. So that was all very impressive. Like, he has a wide knowledge base.
The thing I've learned about Neo is he's a very quick study of whatever he needs to study up on.
Yeah, I've never found him lacking too much knowledge. Like, specifically, it's in guns, and he readily admits that. He fully acknowledges his lack of gun knowledge.
Well, he's a New Yorker.
And,
how much can you get?
Yeah, really. I mean, Matt still gets stuff wrong, and that's fine. But, like, on occasion, I'll find, like, a lack of my knowledge. Like, she had said barrel guard. I was like, hey, guys, is a barrel guard a thing? Just, to my knowledge, it's not a thing. And it's not. It's called a hand guard. I understand that. But she couldn't even tell you what a barrel guard was because she didn't know. As defined by the witness herself. Yeah, that's about an hour and a half on the fucking Rittenhouse trial, which you'll also be hearing about next week because I'm investing something like 85 fucking hours into this, and you're going to hear about it.
You know, barring something significant happening, there's really not much else going on in the news.
Yeah. I mean, we do have Astroworld to talk about.
Yeah, but what's there to really say?
What do you know about Astroworld?
I know that it was a hip-hop concert and people got crushed and trampled and died. They didn't stop the show, and it was a complete shit show. What else do you need to talk about?
Astroworld, founded in 2018 by Astroholes. No, so it started in 2018 or 2017. I don't know which. And this is the third one because they didn't have one last year because of COVID. And since the start of Astroworld, they have been charging the admittance gates in large numbers and breaking through the barriers, the metal detectors, and security to get in there. So it's been a shit show since its founding. And what I saw was I've seen two of the dead victims, and they were best friends who both died. And I now believe what's happening is those 8 people were injected with fentanyl because a firefighter EMS got hit with a needle and was revived with Narcan. I think somebody was there injecting people because those 8 people died of heart asphyxiation. So it could have been the crowd, or it could have been a fucking serial killer. 8 dead, he's a serial killer.
Yeah. I mean, I'm assuming we're going to have to wait for some autopsies.
Mm-hmm. Or another way that it could possibly pan out: vaccinated people, freshly vaccinated people who ended up with myocardial infarctions.
Yeah, I doubt that. Steven, is Astroworld defunct now? That was the first amusement park I went to. Is
Are
it
they
no?
finally bankruptcy or what?
What?
Astro World. What
What
do you mean
about it?
they're defunct? Are they closing down?
I I hadn't heard. I don't know. He's just saying it says it used to be a Six Flag amusement park. I'm pretty sure it's still an amusement park, is it not?
I
As
thought it
far
was Astro Field. Is it not a? Is it not
Well,
a stadium?
the original one was the Astrodome, and they no
right.
longer use the Astrodome. But Astroworld was right adjacent to the Astrodome.
Oh,
Right.
so it wasn't Astro. The it wasn't the stadium. Oh. I'm sorry to hear that, Mike, and that's completely fucked. Mike said his skeptical uncle passed away one day after he got the shot.
Well, damn.
Astroworld, the park, was demolished years ago, Sean.
No, well, I have not lived in Houston since 1981. So,
Oh, well, I was there in 2006.
technically, I went and visited in 2007.
I wouldn't call it visited so much as I was sentenced to there for a week. But it's totally safe, guys.
Yeah, I'm now concerned about what adverse effects I might get if boosters are pushed.
Did you cave and get the shot?
I had to. This was fucking months ago.
Oh, I didn't even know.
Yeah, well,
I mean, like, I joked about
it's
getting the facts.
it's nobody's business. It's
True
the way
that.
I handled it. I mean, I bristled at the fact that I had to keep my job, but I'm not upset that I got vaxxed necessarily. But I spent a weekend just really achy and pissed off as my side
Well,
effects.
so did I, but I got a completely different vaccine than you did.
You mean the real thing?
Exactly. No, I got the DTaP, PDAP, DAP, to TDAP.
The double tap.
My friend is having a baby. He just had the baby. It's a girl. Congratulations. But there's like something you can give the baby, because of like the time it takes for them to get the shots and stuff. So if you're going to be holding a small child, you should have that vaccination updated. And it had been since I was a small child. Well, since I was a child, I was never small. That I got redid just to make sure I wasn't harming the baby while I attempted to not harm the baby. But my mayor came in and said, "Yeah, we're not doing any of this. There will be no vax mandates. There will be no face mandates. I wore a mask. This came for 10 years. Don't give me that shit. We're not going to do it." Yeah, Mike says perhaps it was his uncle's time, but there's no reason it needs to be pushed on everyone. Nothing is good for everyone. Anything can be bad for somebody. There are people that if you gave them $1,000 right now, it would change their world. They'd be able to fix their car. That would lead to them getting a better job. That better job would lead them to getting their kids at a better school, at a better house, and a better life. Other people, you give them $1,000, they go OD on heroin. There is nothing that is good for everyone. You want people to get healthier, so you mandate a fitness regime. That same fitness regime could cause someone to have a heart attack as well as change somebody's life for the better. Not equally plausible scenarios, but both scenarios can happen. That is why nothing is good for everybody in a state. In the United States, it is such a large area and such a diverse area as far as weather and people and every little thing that makes up each individual one of us, that there is nothing that is universally good for all. Steve says 1K gets him a decent firearm. True enough, Steven.
Are you taking a bath, Garrick?
No, I'm washing clothes. Washing clothes and dishes and other shit.
Then why did I just hear a rubber ducky?
Is that your dog?
Oh, look at him trying to play it off on internet. Blame Sean for all his bullshit background noise that we deal with every week.
I don't think I have a lot of background noise, do I? I mean, the occasional kid scream or dog bark, but you can't control those.
Yeah, you're not as bad.
I have a 26-minute video, 24 of which you are muted. That would beg to differ.
Yeah, well, I blame your lousy internet connection for that
That was a fucking shit show. That was a this girl on Twitter was she was holding a spatula in one hand and a ladle in the other hand, and she said, "What's for breakfast?" And I said, "Pancake soup. I'm gonna need those." And I thought pancake soup might be as messy as a soup sandwich. Yeah, washing clothes and dishes in the same bathtub. So we find now there's videos that were put out by fans of like Linkin Park, who pointed out mosh pit protocols, and there's two sets of mosh pit protocols. One is fuck them up before they fuck you up, which is more of the harder core aspect of mosh pits, and the other is help anybody up who's fallen. When I was 16, I was part of the fuck them up before they fuck you up group. I am now 40. For the love of God, somebody help me up if I fall. I'm thinking these people who jump security to get in and then dance on the top of the ambulances are part of the former group. What kind of soup sandwich was it? Because I kind of made like a soup burrito once of some very thick beef stew with rice.
I made a cheese soup the other night that when, left over in the fridge for a day, you could cut with a knife and put on a sandwich. Technically still be a soup sandwich.
Ow.
Well, because it's technically soup. It's just cheese soup, and it's been re-solidified, so it's kind of more cheesy than not. But it's still soup. It's just not hot.
You made a big pot of queso, basically.
No, it's a beer cheese soup.
Ew, yuck. I don't like it. I've been trying fish Fridays, because I'm trying to eat healthier. And beer battered fish is absolutely not my thing. By the way, before I started the fish, I had tried different fishes to find out which fish I liked before the healthy eating started. So I had been eating different kinds of fish sticks, and I like cod, I like salmon, I like perch. I do not like beer batter though. This is before the healthy eating started. I had made a dip, which was a layer of beans, beef, rice, sour cream, pico de gallo mixture, and cheese on top, a queso mix. That ended up being really shifty, but after that night and it as dip, the next day I wrapped it up because it had firmed up, solidified because the cheese had soaked through and firmed up everything, the rice and all the little other beets that I ended up cutting it into blocks and baking it in the oven and then frying it on the oven top for a burritos. That was pretty fucking good.
Sounds it.
It was delicious. Do you ever mix taco seasoning in your sour cream?
Not directly.
Well, if your foot ever does fall off and you're sad, mix sour cream in your taco seasoning, or taco seasoning in your sour cream.
If I'm just sitting there eating sour cream by the spoonful, we got issues.
No, I'm saying like in your if you're having like Mexican, instead of it just being sour cream, half a packet of taco seasoning in your sour cream will do it. Which is harder for me now because I stopped using packets of taco seasoning, and I just make it from seasoning. But I do 1.5 instead. She's basically, yeah. What if you want baked potato? Yeah, you can put your cheese soup on a baked potato, like
that's why I
twice
made
baked potato.
Yeah, that's why I made the soup to begin with. It was to top potatoes.
That might be a dip then. Portuguese bean soup sandwich. Steak sandwich with bread. These are actually some pretty good ones. I can't imagine cutting up like a $16 steak to make steak sandwiches.
That's what you do with the
It'd be
leftover
good,
steak.
but I just get those steakums, and I support steakums, so I buy steakums.
You can buy yourself a London broil and cook it like a steak, and then cut it into strips, and then use that for a steak sandwich. You probably get 5 or 6 sandwiches out of it too.
Yeah, I mean, I don't really have that kind of meat diversity, but we don't even have skirt steak, and I've been looking for skirt steak for a while.
Yeah, skirt steak used to be cheap.
I'm okay if it's expensive. I still just need to try skirt steak because of these couple of recipes that I have that look fucking delicious.
You need to get your ass to a carniceria.
But we don't have those on my mountaintop. We actually have very limited specialty stores. Like we have aisles at like the local Piggly Wiggly, but it's the closest it gets. There's no like in the city I grew up in. There was a Chinese supply company right next to the martial arts dojo, which was run by a white guy, by the way. The Mexican place was was by a paper shop, and we had an additional place that about every 6 months kept changing owners, and like every denomination kept coming, not denomination, but nation came there to try out selling their shit. I passed by once and it was Ethiopian, and I'm like, I've seen the videos. There's no food in Ethiopia. I bet there's nothing in there.
The best Himalayan place I ever ate at is in Durango, Colorado.
Yeah, if you don't have a heart attack while eating your Chinese food, you're not eating Chinese food. But funny enough, the Chinese food I like is all the American Chinese food. I like General Tso's and almond chicken, and both of those are American recipes. Steven doesn't trust the regular Mexicans, let alone the Mexicans at the carceritas.
You gotta be picky with your carnicerias. You definitely do.
Now, is that a restaurant or a supply store?
It's basically a Mexican butcher.
Oh yeah, we had those. We had an Italian one. Probably had a couple Italian ones. But I tell you what, I haven't had my car broken into the 6 years I've lived here. Everybody's here's polite. I can breathe the air. Like, I'm suffering from allergies every year, which involve either pink eye or my eye swelling shut, and I would still rather live down here than in Michigan. In Michigan, when you buy a gun, you have to go and ask for permission from the police department until you get your CPL. So your first time buying a gun, it's, please, sir, can I express my Second Amendment?
You should just go down to Gary, Indiana, and buy one, and then bring it back.
You can't cross state lines with cut purchase.
Why not?
If I went to another state, I don't know why you picked Gary, Indiana, because I'm fucking way closer to Chicago and anything in Ohio than I was to Indiana.
You have to go through Gary, Indiana to get to Chicago.
Yeah, but then you got to turn off to get to Gary, so pass. But like, if I came and visited you, and I saw your brand spanking new fucking bullshit super heavy Sig Sauer and whatever fucking ridiculous caliber, and I wanted one, and you were like, they're half Simcast. Chrissy Meyer's doing a Simcast. Oh, I thought it was Timcast. No, it's their Sim because she's a fucking whore. If I wanted to, if I visited you and you were like, yeah, I know a guy and he sells them for half price. If I bought it from your dealer, he couldn't hand the gun to me. He would have to ship it to an FFL in my state, where my state would run my background check. After he had already run my background check, that my state allows me to have that gun. And the same thing if I bought a gun online. The gun doesn't come to me, it goes to my FFL dealer. And then I do my background check and everything, and I get the gun. I've never done it that way, but I do know that's how it works.
Right. But what's to stop you from buying a gun from a private seller?
Nothing.
Bingo.
Which is their problem with it. But if I have you buy that gun and then I buy that gun from you, that's called a straw purchase. That might be the only charge Kyle gets in this whole ordeal. And it's not even one of the charges listed.
No, it's not. He's not even on trial for it. Because it wasn't a straw purchase. He never took ownership of the gun.
They claim the entire time it's his gun. that he gave the stimulus money to Fuckface to buy a Smith & Wesson Sport, which, by the way, as far as beginner ARs go, you can use an AR Sport, an M&P Sport, all the way up until everyone else has $4,000 guns and you have to buy a $2,000 gun. So for a $600 AR, that thing works. I own one, and it's still one of my favorites because I've bougied it out more than any other gun because of how cheap it was, and it's still slick-sided, so it doesn't have a dust cover or a forward assist button.
Yeah.
For in case a round didn't fully seat itself. But I'm never punching that fucking. I've never used the forward assist button. If it's not in battery, I rack the charging handle again.
Well, to be honest, I don't know if I've ever had a round that didn't seat the first time.
Yeah, I don't know anybody who's ever used the forward assist. But have you made an out-of-state purchase or an internet purchase?
No.
I have made an internet purchase, but it was back in the 90s.
Oh, so you sent in the paperwork for the fully automatic, and then the $3.97, and you got your time again?
Yes, exactly. No, it wasn't. It wasn't like that. It was one of the German SIG that I have. That was the old German police one. I bought it off the interwebs, and I can't remember if it went to the FFL or if it came directly to me. I know there wasn't a background check.
If it went to the FFL, there was a background check.
This is before that law took effect.
Oh yeah, back then.
How lucky were you to see such a time?
I don't know. I don't disagree with background checks. I don't know. There's nothing. See, that's the thing to me. There's nothing stopping you from just going buying a gun from a private party in my state.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And there's lots of them.
There's about to be more. Personally, I don't sell firearms if I can help it. Even the ones I don't like, I just put in a room of my house. But like, I'll build out an AR, and someone will like force buy it off me. Like, dude, I can't sell this. I put $2,000 into this build. I'm pretty happy with it. I'll give you $3,000.
I mean, I'm kind of the way. In my lifetime, I've sold 2 guns. One was a Remington 527 or 597. It's the cheap 22 rifle, the knockoff of the Ruger, but it sucked ass because it would always fucking jam. The one thing I can give credit to that rifle was that it was fucking accurate.
Okay.
That, and what's the SIG that's a double stack 45? Because I have, which is a single stack, but I don't.
229?
Was it the 229?
228 is 40 caliber. 226 is 9mm.
Yeah. No, 229's 9mm as well. It's the compact model.
227?
full size.
Well, Smith & Wesson and SIG, stupid names for their guns. Why can't it just be Glock? That makes perfect sense to me. Glock 19, 9mm. Glock 20, not a thing. Glock 21, 45 caliber. Glock 22, 40 caliber. Glock 23, smaller version of a 40 caliber. Glock 24, I've stopped paying attention past that. But I own a 17, a 19, a 22, a 23, a 26, a 27, 21, and a 45. And
The 227. That's what it is.
it is 227. And the my 45 is a 9mm, and my 22 is a 40 caliber, and my 19 is a 9mm. Yeah, like my friends will talk about it, and I'll be like, "So this is your 45?" I'm like, "No, it's a 21 in 45." Like, I thought you had a Glock 45. I do have a Glock 45. It's a 9mm.
They give you the
Yeah.
strangest. Anyway, so I had bought a 227 by mistake because it was on Gunbroker, but the picture showed a 220. So when I got it in the mail, or when I got it from the FFL, I was like, "Oh, what the fuck is this?"
What's a
So
220?
the 220 is the single stack 45.
Okay.
Did you
So
not want
that's
the
what I
double
still had.
stack?
I still, huh?
Did you not want the double stack?
No, the grip's a little too wide.
My 21 is a wide grip, but it's not bad.
Well, yeah, but you got big hands. I didn't have big enough hands that it was comfortable. I much rather did 20. But
So a single stack is right up your alley?
Oh yeah.
I got to admit, the most comfortable pistol I've ever shot was a Colt 45.
Mm-hmm.
1911.
Yeah, I love my high power personally. That's probably the most comfortable one I still shoot.
I do not have a single stack 45
At all?
at all.
Oh. Okay.
I have mostly Glocks, followed by a lot of Berettas, and then the occasional Smith & Wesson 5-shot airweight, and I don't know why. For some reason, I was thinking my PX4 Storm was not a Beretta. I don't know why I was thinking that.
I really wanted to get one of those when they first came out, but I never really worked up the nerve to just walk down and drop the money for it.
It's one of the, well, not anymore, but at the time, I bought a subcompact, and it was a fairly decent price. It was like $650.
Mm-hmm.
There are currently Glocks that are over $650 right now. So,
Mm-hmm.
but
I just don't like poly guns.
it's not a poly. Well.
So you commenting on the Glocks? Yeah, I'm the same way. The only polymer guns I have are my Canic and the what's the other one? I have the Springfield XDM, my Smith & Wesson 22 compact, and
Yeah,
one of
I
my
guess the lower
Ruger.
is polymer.
Yeah, and one of my Ruger 1020, Ruger Mark IVs.
You're a heavy fucking gun for being a polymer. My Glock 19, which has got inches on you, is lighter than you are.
Do I have any other polymer guns? The XDS. Yeah, that's true.
About half my guns are polymer.
Yeah, same.
But
And the
when
metal
my dogs
side,
try to chew on my Berettas, I'll fucking kill
on the metal frame side, I have the SIG, I have the Browning, I have the Hudson, and I have the Beretta. So yeah, I'm half and half.
You have a Hudson 9?
I do.
Oh man, I kind of want one of those.
bring it.
Good luck.
Bring it to the wedding. We want to shoot it. I was impressed by Hudson 9.
How do you holster the Hudson?
Oh, I was going to ask that too. I was like, I don't know if there's holsters, but
I actually don't have a holster for it.
Yeah.
I wanted to get one, and because there was a company that made one that I really liked, and as I was, I was kind of strapped for cash at the moment. So, and then by the time I actually had some money to put down to get, all the accessories I wanted, they quit making it.
I imagine you could do like a like a CZ with a light holster,
Yeah,
or
maybe.
just one of those bullshit universal holsters. But that
Yeah. No, I'd get something fitted to it. But I mean, what's a pistol that you guys still want? I mean, the one that I really still want is the CZ Shadow 2, single action though.
The Beretta 92X Performance.
Mm.
It's like $1,400,
Yeah, well, Shadow
which
2 is
isn't
about
much because my
so.
my 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 M9A1 was 1,000. My M9A2 was 1,100. But like my X92 was like 720. My PX4 Storm subcompact is was right around 650.
Why did I confuse the Hudson 9 with the Silencer Co. Maxim?
Oh, you're thinking Maxim 9? That's
Oh
even
God,
that's
that's
I mean,
oh, you're
the
thinking like Cattle
Hudson is
versus
plenty bulky, but I don't know why I was confusing it with the Maxim.
yeah.
oh
There's quite a difference in that.
yeah,
Well,
you have to warn six
Not
months in advance of the
well,
wedding
yeah.
to do
That's
that
my
delay.
problem with the Maxim is that you're waiting a year to get your fucking pistol. It pisses me off enough when I have to wait a week to go pick it up.
You have to
So
wait a week.
sometimes, I mean, for some reason, the system does not like my name. So every now and then I'll get they would just won't give me like a go ahead. So
Do you include your social?
sometimes it doesn't do any good.
Really? Oh.
Yeah.
I usually opt in since you're already recording it anyway, and I'm gonna get caught with it eventually. Well, yeah, go ahead and take my social. Um, yeah, I don't know. I've done it once where I ordered a gun, and it was my 92X RDO, and because I have a Beretta 92 FS, like Lethal Weapon, um, John McClane in um,
Die Hard.
Die Hard. It's a fucking it's the gun of the 90s, really. Um,
Yeah, just like
and
the Uzi was the bad guy gun of the '90s.
yeah, it really was. Um, and I was like, yeah, okay, all right, I like it. And then I bought a M9A1, same goddamn gun, but it's not because they took the palm swell out, and I was like, oh my god, I love this gun. Like I now shun my 92 FS because with the palm swell reduction, it's like wonderful. And so I bought an M9A3, and with threaded barrel and suppressor sights, and I'm like, well, fuck yeah. And this one I could actually change the sights on, which fucking irked me so bad. Well, like I was in awe of this gun so much, I completely didn't look. That a M9A1, you can't replace the sight, so you can't add a night sight to it. So the next time we get a Republican in office, and I'm pretty sure that we're not going to have 6 weeks of unrest coming anytime in the near goddamn future, I got to send that thing off to Wilson Combat. Get the sight drilled out for fiber optics. And I'm going to have the change it over to a G from an F. So it's a decocker only, and it snaps back. Because one time at Tactical Response, I I had to reload the mag, and I put the safety on, and it would not fire. And I'm like, stupid fucking gun. And yeah, I had turned the safety back on like a fucking retard. So I only buy G's from now on. So it's a decocker only and not a safety. I don't need a safety. I've got Glocks. I've never even feared a Glock going off.
Well, I mean, that's why I like single action hammered firearms like the CZ and the Browning and the 1911. They're meant to be carried cocked, locked, and ready to rock, and they have a safety, but it's not much of a hindrance.
Well, that's the same style safety as the Performance X92.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, if you look at it, it's the opposite of a traditional Breda safety. You flick up to go off safe, but on the Performance issue, you flick down, and it's got this super sweet. I ride the rails with my thumbs, which causes to keep the bolt from the slide from holding back. But on the X92, there's a thumb rest for your left hand on the swing latch to open up your slide, to remove your slide from the frame. And I was like, oh, that looks nice. And like, my God, it looks gorgeous. Between your thumb being on the safety and your other thumb being on the shelf designed for it, you're gonna have excellent controllability. And for a right-handed shooter, you won't be pulling down to the left with that kind of support. I'm like, want one, but fuck, are you expensive?
Yep.
And
Man, that's the way a Beretta should be made.
Yeah,
What the
I'm
fuck?
currently running $8 in deficit in this damn stream every month, so it's taking it out of me. Like $10 towards the Beretta fund, $8 goes back to the. Actually, I just canceled that because it's supposed to be free now. I've now seen like 3 advertisements that it's free, so we'll see. If not, we'll have 1 hour of a stream once. It is absolutely normal to women to flex their pregnancies on social. Is Blonde pregnant again? Because she's been saying stupid shit. Silly Toys says, yeah, I mean, it always makes me question women, because I've had friends, I've had sisters, I've had pregnant people in my life, all of them women, by the way. I'm not one of those weird people that say birthing persons. And every one of them experiences hell. And like 3 months later, when they can go back to having sex again, they want babies. I can't trust someone like that to run my government. Oh, Lauren's pregnant. Congratulations. I made a comment about her. MythCon or whatever the fuck is going on this week or last weekend at in Texas. They showed Jack Posobiec and 2 Chinese girls or Asian girls of some kind. I'm like, hey, which one of those is Lauren Chen? Neither one is Lauren Chen.
Good
Like,
God,
or no, I
that's
called it
expensive.
Romy Millennial. Like, which one of those is Romy Millennial? I didn't even know who the girls were. Like, why are you flexing Elijah Schaefer and these 2 Asians? You got Jack Posobiec in your FedCon. This is going to be great. I hate watch that show. I hate watch Slightly Offensive, and You Are Here.
I never watched Slightly Offensive. I have been watching You Are Here, but I've been trying to slack back on it.
They get good guests though, so it's a mix. Like, I don't care for them, but their guests are interesting. They just had Lauren Southern on. That's an excellent get.
Exactly.
And back in the day, they supported Matt and to a lesser extent Blonde. So
I mean, I don't care for Elijah. I like Sydney to some degree.
She's
But,
kind of basic, but I don't hate her.
yeah.
That's the problem with a lot of these conservative chicks. They're getting by on real basic stuff and just being cute.
Yeah, Lauren Southern should not be where she is. She is by no means any kind of special. Lauren Southern started out as she was a girl, and it was a conservative event, and they put her forward. She's like, lower taxes are good, right? Yeah, okay, that's good. I'm for that. Brr, those illegals.
Like Canada has a problem with illegals. Come on.
But yeah, and she's from Canada, so that there goes that. But like Candace Owens is black.
What?
Congratulations. Yeah, no, she's black. That's her best selling point. It's not even the female part; it's the black. Now, Roaming or Lauren, she's got a pretty decent take. And as far as I'm concerned right now, it's better than yours, blonde. You better be pregnant.
Also, Canadian.
China. And she spent years in the U.S. She went to college here, and she worked for fucking Buttnuts, Ryan. So she's got her bona fides.
She's tiny.
Is she? Is she gonna have a small Asian baby that's half Arabic?
Yep. She came up to my shoulder in like aggressive heels. She is small.
Where'd you meet her at?
Hmm?
Where'd you meet her at?
Kilroy.
Boo. But, we got anything else? It's past 11.
Do I got anything else? No. I don't think so. Except that I can say that this Maxim 9 is fucking retarded expensive.
Well, yeah, you're buying a gun and a silencer. And it's not going to fit. It's not even going to fit universal holsters. It's fine.
It fits nothing, yes.
But
you might as well put a sling on it at that point.
You will see Gage Grosskreutz with one, and he'll be using it to teach his kayaking classes.
Ooh.
Because it's the only one-handed paddle he can get a hand in. That fucking thing's a boat oar.
I say the Hudson itself is chunky, but yeah, the Maxim is even chunkier.
Yeah. I like the trigger, even though it's upside down. I like the trigger on a Hudson. All right.
You like the straight back throw?
It was interesting, and it wasn't like overly complicated.
No, the dingus is upside down, is what he's saying. The trigger safety.
Yeah.
It is. Yeah, look at that.
Mm-hmm.
We all ready?
It's not that weird, honestly. Once you shoot it a couple times, you get used to it really quick.
All right, let's get out of here.
Okay.
Good night, everybody.
Post the link. Garrett?
Good night, everybody.
Is it working? Everybody click on it? Yeah, we're good? Okay, good.
Okay. Good night, everybody.
Good night.
Well, I believe in good vibrations is what creates a beautiful nation. All you need is the will.